son's name is Ariel. He's the oldest of the two. And because of his name, not because of him necessarily, because I was thinking of the name Ariel, I looked it up, and it's a lot of places. Now, Ariel, you got to know, there's a place in Isaiah which calls Ariel either, and Rashi's going to talk about it in 2 pages more, but Rashi calls Ariel the name of either the Beit HaMikdash here in Yerushalayim when we have it, or the altar itself is called Ariel. And if you look at Tisha B'Av service, there's 1 or 2 of those special piyutim there, which are sad, admittedly, which talk about the name of here as Ariel. Could be Yerushalayim also. Yerushalayim, Beit HaMikdash, or the altar. And you're going to see the altar used. So this is about what? Dedicating the Mishkan, because that's when he's setting it up the last time. In next week's Parsha, Shmini, they're going to be inaugurated, the priests, and God's going to actually come down and burn something up for the first time on the altar. He himself is coming down to do that, but that's in Shmini. So the word Ariel is here. It's a 5-letter code. The letters aren't specifically hard, and we've got it here, I believe, 3 times. So let's look at the back page and see that. Now I skipped some pasukim to show you because I didn't want to have all this pasukim. I have to make 3 pages out of this. So Ariel is coded here 3 times, which gives them 36 and 72 forwards. By the way, those are related. 72 is 2 times 36, and it's chesed also. And 45 backwards. 45 happens to be Adam, if you care about a gematria. But at any rate, those are the 3 times. The 36, only that last one, which is the Ariel you have on the last page, the same page as we're on now, the back page. It goes through 5 words, and here are the gematrias of the words and the words themselves. The total is 1696, and what's it equal to? 4. This time I don't know why the 4, because we only have 3 codes. But anyway, it's 4 times 424, and 424 happens to be Mashiach ben David, certainly related to what we're going to see on the next page. So the next page is a continuation of this, because it's now Ariel for the Song of Songs. How often do we do the Song of Songs in this class? Not very often, right? Because it's very hard, very big, a lot of stuff to it. But I looked up Ariel in the Song of Songs, and I found it with there's a number of times there, but it's once there with the smallest skip of 17. That's the smallest skip there is. Small skips usually are very important. So Ariel, first of all, I say again, it's a reference to the temple or to the altar, and to the altar. It's coded here with a 17, which means good. It's certainly good. Skip. The code goes through 5 words. They are listed. The total is 2017 this year, which hints to me that maybe we'll get started the building of this stuff this year. Now we're going to see translation of these 2 verses that it's in. The Aleph is only in the 2nd verse, and the other 4 letters are in the 1st verse. So the 1st verse says like this: I've come to my garden, my sister, my bride. I have gathered my myrrh and my spice. I have eaten my sugar cane with my sugar. I have drunk my wine with my milk. Eat, friends, drink, yea, drink abundantly, beloved ones. When you're hearing that, you're right away thinking it's a man and his wife. A man and a woman, right? It's all sexually in tone, but it's not really that. It's really what it's supposed to be is God and the Jewish people. That's what the whole Song of Songs is. When are you supposed to read Song of Songs? Well, first of all, you could read it. I don't, because I'm usually blasted by the wine. So you could read it Pesach night, right after the Seder, after, all those songs, and you're ready to go to bed. If you even sang the songs, Haggadah, Haggadah, you go to bed. I do. Rose is usually already in the bed because she's wiped out from helping with the kids and all that stuff. This year we have a few less. Those one family's in the States right now. But at any rate, haven't heard from her yet. Maybe later today. At any rate, but you're supposed to read it that night after the Seder is over. But who has time to read all those chapters of Song of Songs? But some people do. And then the other time is you don't have to read it necessarily, but you hear it in shul because it's the Megillah. It's a Megillah, just like Koheles, or just like Ruth, or just like all the ones we have. What?
Esther.
Esther, yeah, just like Esther. But you have to hear that twice. This one, right. Twice in shul. When do you hear it in shul? You hear it on Shabbos Kol HaMoed, right? Unless Shabbos Kol HaMoed happens to be actual Pesach itself, second one, but then you would hear it anyway, even though it's a Yom Tov, they would read it on that one. That's what you usually do. All right, I'm just saying what's liturgy. At any rate, we're going on, because the important part coming up. Okay, Rashi comments on that. I have come to my garden in the days of the dedication of the temple. So Rashi right off the bat says, days of the dedication of the temple. 1 second here. Stop. 1 moment. Wait, I remember I had a reason for making a big to-do in my head about the dedication of the temple. Oh, because it's related also to another thing that I have in another part. Okay, we'll get that later. At any rate, so dedication of the temple. It's, oh yeah, of course, yeah, that's the thing. The thing is not the code, the thing is the Ariel, and the thing is the Ariel itself. Ariel means the temple or the altar. That's what I said before. And that's where it comes from that. It means that. And Rashi right away says, when you're talking here, right, not the Ariel. Rashi doesn't necessarily know about Ariel here. But Rashi says this part, Pasuk 1 and Pasuk 2, are talking about, the garden part, is about the days of the dedication of the temple. This is the dedication of the temple in the Song of Songs. We have it also in our, what? The Chumash in chapter 8. Starting the dedication, finishing up the building of the Mishkan, not the temple of the Mishkan, similar. And now we have Ariel here, so that's what Rashi is talking about. You can read all the rest. I'm going to read a little more. I have gathered, Hebrew, Ariti. I gathered. It is the Mishnaic language, as much space as required by a picker and his basket. We'll skip a little bit. This was stated, I'm reading the top of the next page, with regard to the incense. For the princes burned private incense on the outside altar. And it was something. So what did we say also? We said it was Ariel was what? The altar. This is the outside altar. The inside altar, the golden altar or the incense altar was not called that. It's not where the incense normally burnt. They took incense and put it on the outside altar. Only the princes of Israel were able to do this. And it was accepted by Hashem. Right? So that's what it says. This is Rashi on all this stuff. I drunk my wine. The next one is down. These are the libations. The wine libations went on the altar. Rose, we got to keep going. All right? All right. No, I thought you were going to talk for a second. I'm sorry. Okay. With my milk, they were sweeter and clearer than milk. They weren't milk. You don't put milk up in a span. Somebody will ask, do you drink 4 courses of milk? I had a friend in the States who was always asking, we're going to have a fleshig meal. What about the milk? Why can't we drink milk? And he asked me, I said, well, one person we used to have over with him, he has always tried to answer his question. He brought a little stick of Torah to tell him about drinking milk. I don't remember it anymore. Anyway, sweeter and clearer than milk. Eat, friends, in the tent of meeting. In the tent of meeting. These were Aaron and his sons, and the everlasting temple, all the priests. So it's all about that stuff. The second one is more wordy and doesn't talk so much about the temple, but I brought you that one also for the second Pesach. Now, more mystical stuff. The Pesach plate, we've seen this before. Here's a picture of the Pesach plate according to the, I believe it's Ariel, but I could be wrong. At any rate, the plate contains, this is the one we use, a plate that looks like this. Circular plate with little circles on it. Compartments for the 6 items. The plate is the 7th item. Those are the 7 lower Sfirot, complete from Kesed down to Malchut. Well, the 6 items are the 6 called Zeranpin. So we have a zeroah, a roasted bone. That's how you spell it in Hebrew. And a beitza, hard-boiled egg, and all the other things. All 6 items added together are 2485. Amazing. Amazing number, and without writing it on the board, but I'm going to see something about it in a moment. 2485 happens to be 7, you can write it in a sheet if you want, 7 times 355. Why is that important? It's 7, like what's referenced to 6 items I'm adding, but the plate is holding it up, and the plate is a 7th, so it's like that. It's like the completion of 355. You know who 355 was? Paro. Do you think Paro doesn't need a completion? God loved Paro. It's just Paro went against God and against Moshe and against the Jewish people, and God didn't like that. But Paro's a player, just like Haman is a player, and he could have been a great guy. In fact, people even came from Haman that did what? That built synagogues, that were big rabbis, and everything like that, went to yeshiva. Jews came from Haman. Why? Because that's the plan of what God does to make you like a better person. He's also a Malach, and God's going to fight with a Malach forever, right? But anyway, it's 2485, very important number, very, very important number, 7 times 355, amongst other things. So 355 is in the Sefirot, by the way, not this number is not, but 355 Paro is, if you want to know, it's a, Rivka has 3 that are Chochmah, Bina, Chesed, and then 2 below, Hod Yesod. But Paro is, second, I gotta get it right. Bina, Chochmah, and Gevurah. Unbelievable, those 3, like almost 3 of the last place, not the last place, but 3 of them is Paro. We talked about him before. At any rate, he's not good, but he could have been good, he should have been good, but guess what? Wasn't. All right, that's a Pesach place. I'm sorry?
In Nineveh.
In Nineveh, yes, he did improve. He became the king of Nineveh, and no longer did he go against what he was supposed to go against.
He got warned once. He was.
That's right. He said, I had my problems in Egypt. I'm not doing it again. I'm not doing it again. When Jonah came there, remember? Jonah had more problems actually than him, because Jonah was running away from God. That's why he took the boat and the ship and all that. All right, and the men on the boat, these non-Jews, they're saying, why are we having this storm? Oh, it's your fault. Well, actually, he didn't say that. He says himself, it's my fault. Threw himself overboard, and he's swallowed by a big fish, right? Which is the whale. Right. Anyway, back to the beginning of the Torah. At the beginning of the Torah, we have this number 245, 2485, sorry, right in the beginning of the Torah. I wrote it wrong. It's 2485?
Yeah.
What did I write on the board?
2845.
That was wrong, so forget what I wrote on the board. It's not right. I wrote it wrong number. I mixed up the numbers lately. You know what's wrong with me? I'm getting dyslexic. I'm terrible. My old age. Forget what's on the board. Erase it. Just ignore it. Don't film it.
Okay.
All right, just ignore it. Everything else is fine. This number's fine, but that one was not right. There's definitely 7 times 355. That part's right. I did that in my sleep, but I couldn't get this right writing it there. At any rate, forget that. So, but this one's right. 2485 is in the beginning of the Torah. Here it is. Look, it's all the good part too. The Ruach Elokim, Berachefet al Pnei Hamayim. Why do I call that the good part? That's at 1369. That's the 3 Sefirot, which are the Sfiros of who? Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov. We're talking about that. You asked me a question about that before, I believe, Sarah. At any rate, that's what it is, those 6 words. And the next pasuk, Vayomer Elokim Yehior Vayior, about light. And then Vayar Elokim, which is related to Yisrael. What do I mean related to Yisrael? Vayior Vayar Elokim, those 4 words, 2 at the end of it, and those 2 equal Yisrael. The first time ever Gematria in the Torah. But after Amalek and after Yishmael. Those guys are before in Gematria, before Yisrael. All right, forget the thing on the board. We'll go on. We want to talk about Pesach.